Hi guys, welcome back to Creatures, Caverns, and Crafting. First of all, Happy New Year's. Here's to a wonderful 2020. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to show you guys some terrain that I've collected over the years. I'm going to show you some cheaper options, some stuff that's more expensive, some stuff that I've created, and I'm even going to show you some stuff that I've 3D printed. So first of all, we're going to start with a paper model by Drive-Thru RPG. Excellent detail, as you can see. Just spin it around so you guys can get a good look at it. Now the roof does come off, and this is what the interior looks like. Awesome detail. Now all of this is going to come down to your ability to print on cardstock and the quality of your color printer. Now you might be able to go to Kinko's, Walmart if you don't have that printer, but that is something that you must consider when doing this. This is what it's going to look like when you print it out. Again, just some simple instructions on where to score, where to fold, and where to glue. If you're not familiar with Drive-Thru RPG, highly recommend that website. Great option. Got some excellent artists on there providing free stuff, donation at will stuff. You can get entire villages, cityscapes for $20, $25. So great option. Again, you have to consider if you have a printer that can do that. So we're just going to put that away. Really cool stuff. And we're going to look at something more expensive. This is the Dwarven Forge option. I consider Dwarven Forge as the fine china, I guess. What you're looking at here is a accumulation of several packages. I would say this house is about $60 to $70. Again, the roof is magnetized, so you can add stuff like chimneys or perches for thieves to, scale the roof. We'll take the roof off here. The interior, I do have some stuff in here from a previous game. It does not come with chairs. It doesn't come with beds, but I just want to give you guys a look at it. The cool option about Dwarven Forge is the modularity of it. Even the windows can be changed up. You can put shutters in there. You can put curtains. Just flip this around a little bit. This balcony, that was an add-on. And everything centered around the corner pieces that I just pointed there. And we're just going to take the top off. Show you guys the bottom floor here. Now the doors do open, unlike the paper model. Now, there may be some paper models out there that the doors do open, but just, a different feature. We'll take this back off here. This is a torch, and again, this is an add-on option, but kind of cool. You can flip it on. Maybe your villagers are coming in at night and you want that on there to give a nice effect. I've got a miniature here for scale. Go ahead and put that against the paper model as well. Again, perfect either way. Even the stairs are an extra option. So more expensive, but more modularity. Something just to consider. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at some other options and some other genres. So guys, this wouldn't be a good video unless I showed you some dungeon tiles, which is probably the #1 piece of terrain that you're going to see out there. Here's some I created using some foam. This will take you some time to make. Very cheap. It's going to require that you purchase some craft paints, maybe a utility knife, maybe a foam cutting tool. Here I've added some 2-part epoxy just to get that slime effect. Tons of tutorials on how to make dungeon terrain out on YouTube. DM Scotty, Black Magic Craft, Wylock. These guys have been doing it for years. Let me show you another tile. This has a wood floor on it. This could easily pass as a cottage or a cabin. Here's another tile. I want to show you, I've created some details on this. Here's a scratch mark. That's something that you might not find on a pre-manufactured piece of terrain. So sometimes making it versus purchasing it might fit your game a little bit better. Let me show you guys some doors here I made. These are very simple. Not the best doors, but Took me no time at all to make that. Now I want to show you guys a Dwarven Forge cavern tile. This is made out of their Dwarvenite material. Very durable, very high quality, great sculpt. It did come pre-painted. I did not paint this. The bottom is magnetized. This tile is going to probably run you about $5. This is the Dragonlock 3D printed tile by Drive-Thru RPG. It does lock together. I haven't removed the stuff from the bottom. Give you a side-by-side of the two. I did paint the Dragonlock tile. All in all, about 20 cents of material to make that. So the cheapest method I've discovered is just taking some foam core and making a cobblestone pattern on it. This is kind of mimicking the ultimate dungeon terrain. The Dungeon Craft, Professor Dungeon Master, he's got one that he makes with a turntable and it's double-sided. I've seen various forms out there. Great video. If you haven't checked it out, highly recommend it. But basically, this allows you to just place stuff on the board. You're not constricted with walls or anything like that. You can basically build a room. You could also maybe use this as a road. Here's a miniature just for scale comparison. Imagine if you had 5 or 6 more on there. Tons of room. You've got people reaching all around the table. You don't have to worry about knocking things over so much. Also, this is very portable. It weighs nothing. And if it gets damaged, maybe $2 in material altogether. So I've showed you the cheapest and easiest. Let me show you the most expensive. And again, I'm picking on Dwarven Forge again. This is their dungeon terrain. I love me some Dwarven Forge. I feel like I'm really bullying them on this video, but guys, this probably costs more than $100. And I'll be honest with you, great quality, great sculpt. I have nothing but good stuff to say about the artist behind this. Here's a door I'll show you. But I don't know what else I can make with just these tiles. And I'm already more than $100 in on this. Show you another tile. It is magnetized on the bottom. This is a metal plate that is covered in a cloth, so it will stick down. Here is a column of snakes that you can add just for a little bit more scenery. I'll focus in for you. Great stuff, but I want to emphasize this is just one set. You might have to purchase 2 or 3 to actually make something. I've seen people spend $1,000 on Dwarven Forge, okay? So we're going to move on. I'm going to show you guys some other stuff. Switching gears up, let me show you guys some modern terrain that I made. This is mainly out of foam core. I did use some cardstock here on the billboard. Let me show you the back end. The fan is 3D printed. You could easily find something like that at the Goodwill. The roof does remove. Looking back on this, I didn't really have to make the roof removable. The texture is basically just Mod Podge and some sand. And the signs, I just printed those out using a color printer. I'll show you another build. And I like this one. It looks a little bit cleaner. The windows are basically just packaging plastic. The door was 3D printed and the AC unit was 3D printed, but you could make those your own. I did add a graffiti decal here. And I added a piece of paper here just to give a curtain look. Now let me show you something that's a little bit more expensive. This is a MDF house offered by Foregrounds. This is their modern / post-apocalyptic line. I think it's called Homeland. I'm not exactly sure. The roof does remove. It does have a full attic space. The attic access does open up. The back steps are in the attic just so I don't lose them. Let me show you the floor plan of the home. All the doors do open. You can even access the crawl space below. And the crawl space door does open. We'll flip it around here so you see the back. The roof is right there. It goes there. I just put it in there so I wouldn't lose it. Really awesome detail. The floor plan is going to be a little confining. If you've got 4 people reaching in there, that might be something to consider. You're not going to have a lot of room to move miniatures around. But just look at the detail on this. Really cool stuff. It does take a little time to assemble this, but it looks great on the table. Awesome quality. I've always loved foreground stuff. However, this house is going to cost you about $50. Now, I'm going to show you a cheaper option. This is a MDF house made by TT Combat. It does come unpainted. I painted this. It's nothing that you can't do your own. But I want to show you, it's still really good quality. Not as good as the foregrounds, but it's great. Let me remove the roof. I'll show you the top floor. I did have this set up with a previous game, and it does give you some perspective of how much playability you get in there. You don't have all the rooms that are confining your players. Again, though, you're still going to have the walls, and you're still going to be reaching into something very small. The front porch roof does remove. We're just going to take this top floor off, take a look at the bottom floor. The door just kind of pops out like so. It does not swing out like the foreground door, but nothing major. One other thing I'll note here is the windows. They do not have glass panes or plastic sheets that look like glass panes. These are just going to be open. Just to fit this together, we just put it in the hole and it should sink down like so. We'll put the roof back on that. This is a great option, guys. It cost me about half of what I've spent on the foreground home. And if you're going to customize this, like maybe you want to add some damage or weathering effects on it, this would be the house I would do it on before I would do it on the foregrounds, because if you mess this up, it's not going to be a big deal. Now let me show you a even cheaper option. This is a building by Plastercraft. Now when I got this, it came unpainted. It looked just like this, and when you get it, I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to take a lot of work. You're going to probably say, what is this, when you first get it out, and it's going to take you a little time to figure it out. But I added some details like some graffiti, the wire. I even did the windows here. It does come with some resin windows. You're going to have to paint those up the way that you want them, but overall it comes out looking really nice. This probably cost me $15. Now, another option that you have is a 3D printed building. This is, I think, Corvus 3D printed terrain. This is their post-apocalyptic files that they offer. Very cheap to purchase. It does take some time to print this off and get it lined up exactly right. It comes with several window options, so you can kind of customize this. One problem I ran into was just getting this to line up. I did have some curling on it, so it did take me a few times to get everything to match up. This is multi-story. The floor here I added myself. That does not come like that when you print it, but just to give you an idea of what you can do. I did have to print this, and I did have to paint it. So it does take some time. I've seen some better paint jobs out there. This is just my work. I hope that you like it. So let's move on. We'll look at some other stuff. I was able to find the following terrain at Michael's. I'm a big fan of going to a craft store and looking around to see what's on discount racks. This is a tea light decoration. It's made out of a plaster or a pottery, so it is a little fragile. This is a bridge I also found at Michael's. Pretty good quality. It did come pre-painted. Let me show you another tea light decoration that I picked up. One thing I don't like is the lichen on top, and that's only because it falls off everywhere. But I could probably go and add some glue to that, and that would probably solve that issue. I think both of these were on the discount rack and they were half off. I think I also had a coupon, so maybe $7 a piece. Here's some miniatures just to give you a perspective on the scale. I think it matches almost perfectly. We'll put one on the bridge as well. So really a cheap option. I didn't have to do anything with these, and I got all three probably under $20. As stated before, I wanted to show you guys a Hirst tile. I've added some foam core on the bottom of this one. That's just to give it a little cushion. This is made out of a dental plaster, so it is hard. Let me focus in for you guys so you can get a better look at it. I did paint all of these. Let me show you another tile. Now you can buy large sets of this on different websites for pretty inexpensively. I think I purchased one of the larger sets and it was still under $100. One thing to consider, it is fragile. If you drop this on the floor, it will probably break into pieces. The other thing is it can be very heavy. I have a box full of this stuff and you can get a workout lifting it. Let me show you this fountain feature I created. Here's a door. This is a skeleton that I added. The door does swivel back and forth. And basically you would just insert this into another tile like so, and you have a doorway basically. Let me show you another option. This is an Egyptian tile. This is one of my favorite ones. Just look at the detail on the walls on this. You can see the bottom where it did come out of a mold. Really cool. Here's a sarcophagus just for scale. Slide that in there. Again, guys, semi-inexpensive, very heavy, and fragile. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to my channel. I greatly appreciate your viewership. It seems like we're getting more and more subscribers with every video, and I greatly appreciate that. My voice is a little out of whack. I have been under the weather since I've got back from overseas. I'm getting better. This shouldn't hold me up from making any other videos for you guys. Also, I had a little gap with a blue screen of death on my computer, so I was unable to give a more holiday-centered video. Next year, maybe we'll remedy that. Also, in closing, I want to say that in no way is this video a product review of any of the terrain discussed. I like foregrounds. I like Dwarven Forge. I like tons of terrain. I just wanted to show you guys some options. Some of us aren't able to 3D print terrain. Some of us aren't able to buy terrain. And then some of us don't really have the artistic ability to make it. But I wanted to just show different stuff that I have, give you guys some options, and always remember, if you don't have terrain, you can always go old school and go pen and paper. Thank you guys. As always, be safe. We'll see you next week. Bye.